Welcome back. This is the 46th segment of our 63 segment series, Because It's True. Making the case for Christianity in bite-sized pieces. You know, everybody has a belief system, a worldview, if you will. A notion of how they believe the universe actually operates, what reality truly is. Now, for those who are critical thinkers and are willing to evaluate and critique their own worldview, and I might say that those who are indeed critical thinkers and are willing to evaluate and critique their own worldview seem to be, in comparison, very few compared to everybody else who seems to just catch their worldview like somebody would catch a cold from the people around them, not really thinking about what they think. But for the others, and I hope you are one, who is willing to evaluate and critique your worldview, there are two major questions that are going to have to be asked. One is, what evidence do you have? What reasons do you have to think that your worldview is true? That it is accurate. And what we have looked at concerning the worldview that is the Christian faith is the evidence and the reasons for maintaining that worldview. This is what we've done over the past several segments. But then there is the question of, is your worldview livable? Is it workable? How does your worldview speak to the existential questions of your life? Questions such as hope and identity and meaning. But then also, how does it speak to the existential aspect of your relationship with others, the people around you, both locally and globally? What does it have to say about such things as justice and human rights and universal benevolence? When you look at it, is it simply a bunch of ideas that you have put on paper? But when you try to live it consistently out in the real world, it supports you or fails you? Now, what I want to encourage you to do is consider comparing your worldview to that of the Christian faith. Now, if you are a Christian, what do you know about the implications that the Christian worldview has to say about those things that I've just mentioned? Hope, meaning, identity, justice, human rights, universal benevolence. What do you know about them, and what do you understand about them? And are you able to actually live out what you confess is your worldview? And if you are not a follower of Jesus, my challenge to you would be to compare your worldview to the Christian worldview and see how it holds up with these existential issues. This is what we're going to be pursuing over the next few segments. But let me go ahead and put out front on a personal note. There is no question that Christianity makes a greater contribution and more meaningful contributions to my life in these areas than any other alternative explanation of reality. So I'm going to attempt to make a case for the validity of the livability of the Christian faith over the next several segments.